Today's video is super specific and it is all about eyebrows. So if you are trying to get thicker brows or considering investing in a serum, watch this whole video and I'm going to go through everything you need to know. Hey guys, I'm excited about today's topic because I think eyebrows is a topic that a lot of women want to know about, and we all want thicker brows, which is so funny because years ago, I feel like when I was like 14, 15, the trend was really thin brows. And of course, I'm Persian. And if you are ethnic or Persian or whatever, you probably were born with thicker brows. I had like a full unibrow growing when I was in middle school. And I remember I just wanted them thinner. So unfortunately, I plucked them myself. I got them waxed at places that weren't necessarily the best. So then we all ended up getting stuck with thinner brows and the trend changed back to thick brows. So now everyone's trying to find ways to get that really like natural bushy brow back. So I'm gonna go through a few different like things you can do. I kind of want to break this video up into things you can do at home and then products, and we'll get into serums and oils. And then I also want to share a 9-month experiment that I just finished, which was trying to grow thicker brows, and I'll tell you what the results were. So let's start with something simple. One thing that you can do at home to grow your brows thicker is literally brush them and exfoliate them. So if you watched my video on hair growth, I talked about little things you can do at home to help your hair grow in thicker, and one was literally just taking a brush and kind of brushing your scalp, making sure you're brushing every day. I used to never brush my hair every day because I actually thought it looked better messy, but my hairdresser really taught me, and I've really seen that brushing is super important. This is the same when it comes to eyebrows. So you've got hair follicles that your hair needs to grow out of, and if they are clogged or if there's dead skin, if they're not like stimulated, a lot of times this can affect how the hair grows. So this is super simple. You can take like a clean mascara brush. You can get these like on Amazon in bulk where they're just, you know, plain. You can just kind of comb through your brows a little bit, massage them a little bit, just make sure you're always exfoliating. You can also take a scrub, like the same kind of exfoliating scrub that you would use on your skin, something with like light beads. You could even make your own with like a baking soda, and just make sure you're getting your brows. I'm not sure if you focus on this area, but I feel like it's almost like we'd almost think to avoid it, like kind of go around your brows, but really get in there and make sure that you're getting all that dead skin off. So that's a simple one. Next, let's get into products. When it comes to products, there are growth serums. I'm sure you've seen there's a lot of brow serums, and then there's oils. So the serums are usually much more expensive, and I know a lot of you would wonder, should you invest in it? Is it worth it? Does it actually work? So it depends on what the ingredients are. Serum, unfortunately, is kind of a loosely used term, and when it's used, it can be made more expensive, but you want to make sure that if you are paying for a serum, you're actually getting the ingredients that are really going to make it beneficial. So there's a few things you should look out for in a serum. Number one is peptides. So if you see something that has peptides in it, this is really going to be helpful. Peptides are basically like little messengers, and they kind of tell your cells what to do, and they're just like little messengers in your body, whether you're using them on your skin or using them in a serum. So when you find a serum that has a peptide, it's basically going to encourage like follicle activity and hair growth. So that's worth paying for. Another thing you should look for is keratin. So keratin is like a kind of protein. I'm sure you've heard of like keratin hair treatments, and in the same way that we'd want it to make our hair thicker and stronger, it's also going to really help your brows. And lastly, an important ingredient to look out for in serums is fatty acids. So this could be in like B vitamins, it could be lipids. If you look on the back and notice that there's fatty acid, this is really going to help nourish, moisturize, hydrate. And whenever you kind of have a healthy base like that, you're just going to encourage more hair growth. So look for these 3 ingredients in a serum. Now, sometimes a serum could end up just being like a blend of oils, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I wouldn't pay a premium price for something that's supposed to be a serum when it's just an oil, because you could easily just go buy an oil over the counter. And furthermore, there's really only one oil that I'd recommend putting on your brows when it comes to growth. Not saying that other oils are going to hurt you, but they're not going to do as much as castor oil would do. So castor oil is really kind of like the number one oil to use on your brows. Castor oil is really specific to any other type of oil because it has an ingredient in it. This acid is not found in this high of a concentration in any other like plant compound. So castor oil is like the one thing that has it in a really, really high concentration. So that's kind of what makes it special. And castor oil in itself, it's considered a fatty acid. So Kind of like how I mentioned you should look for fatty acids in a serum, castor oil in itself is a fatty acid. So because it is a fatty acid, because it can improve blood circulation to your hair follicles, it's thought to really be able to help hair growth. Now, castor oil is really thick, so I would really only recommend putting it like on your brows. You could put a little bit on your lashes, but I wouldn't put it all over your face because it is a little bit sticky. I don't know if it could cause a breakout, but it's really just perfect for your brows. So that's kind of my take on products when it comes to what to use. If you're gonna use an oil and you really only have room for one, because remember, like the surface area can only be saturated with so much. So if you could fit a million oils, would it hurt? No, but since the whatever one you put on there is really going to get absorbed the most, I would focus on a castor oil. When it comes to brands for serum, I actually haven't really used one on myself long enough to know if it really works. So I just want to share that and be totally honest. I can't really give an honest opinion on like, does it work, does it not? But I did do a little bit of research and find some brands that I thought would be helpful. I figured you guys would want something and some kind of recommendation. So because I know a lot of people in this community really want a vegan, cruelty-free product, I found one that's called Grand Brow by Grand Lash. So that one is vegan. But unfortunately, it doesn't have the 3 ingredients that I was mentioning, like the peptides, the fatty acids, and the keratin. I did find one brand that does have all 3 of those. It's called Rapid Lash Rapid Brow, but unfortunately it's not as much on the clean beauty spectrum. But it does have those 3 kind of like killer ingredients that will really help in a serum. I think it's important to give both options because not everybody watching this video will have the same like requirements when it comes to product. In fact, as much as I love to talk about clean beauty now, 6 months ago I wasn't here, and I think I even shared that before, I will slowly make the switch. Right now I don't use all clean beauty, so I think everyone is kind of on their own journey with that, and whether or not you're using clean beauty or not, I just wanted to share 2 options of brands there. So the last thing I want to talk about is an experiment that I recently did for 9 months. So this is not a short experiment on trying to get my brows to grow in a little bit differently. The interesting thing is I actually filmed this video like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm glad I didn't post it because I wasn't fully finished with the experiment yet, and I have different results now. I wouldn't have really been able to share like how it turned out. So basically, around 9 months ago or so, it was like last March or April, I was on a trip with this skincare brand, and I met a photographer who told me about this like brow experiment she had done where she'd seen so many girls do it, where they go to like a salon and basically you don't wax, you only pluck, and you can only touch your brows once for every 8 weeks. So for someone like me who gets their brows done every 2 weeks, I was like, yeah, right, it's not gonna work. But the theory was that your hair all grows on different hair cycles. So like this brow might be growing on one cycle and this is on another cycle, which is why like sometimes every 3 days you have one to pluck. But they were saying every 8 weeks, if you kind of wait, you teach your hair to grow on the same cycle. And also that by plucking a hair down here, it could actually impact the hair growth up here. So the theory is you only get them done once every 8 weeks and you pluck, but you pretty much leave everything up here. So like for the last 9 months, my brows have been so crazy. In fact, a lot of you have left comments. So for anyone wondering why I've had weird brows, now you understand. I was really like trying to do this experiment, and I have pretty good brows, but I wanted them a little straighter. Mine are just very naturally arched. So I was like, okay, let me try this experiment. And I just like went full force into it, dealt with all the social media bullying. And while I was doing it, they definitely like along like the line were getting much thicker. I'm really going to see if I can find photos to pop up while I'm talking about this for this video. Pardon my allergies right now. I'm a little bit sick. So I was thinking that it was going to be better, but I actually just went in today for the final like one. They like maybe grew in a little more here along the line, but to be honest, it's not that much of a difference. Like I wouldn't say it was worth the 9 months. The only thing that made it worth it was that I could be the guinea pig for you guys and see. Now, I have seen a lot of girls that this works for, and they do get like a really bushy brow, but for me, didn't make that much of a difference. And to be totally honest, I actually prefer a cleaner brow on my face. After kind of going through and seeing how it would look, I think that I just look better with a cleaner brow. So I I tried the experiment, it didn't work on me. You're welcome to try it, but I wouldn't necessarily push anyone to do it. And it's definitely not like mind blowing. So that's my brow experiment experience. So I hope this video helped. Kind of the moral of it is exfoliate them, you know, take good care of the skin under your brows as you would your regular skin. If you're going to get a serum, I would get one with high quality ingredients, and castor oil just can't hurt. So even if it does or doesn't work, it's really, you know, it could help, and it actually kind of keeps your brows in like a nice shape anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this video, kept it short and sweet. Please let me know if you have any questions. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.